Hi guys, welcome to Sprayhead Mondays on Antique Sprinklers. Today we're looking at a bubbler from Moody. And George Moody worked at his dad's auto parts business in the 1920s prior to going into underground irrigation installation. And he held a patent for an early way to automatically control irrigation systems. And then at some point in the 1950s, his company passed from the family's hands to a guy whose last name was Nees, N-E-E-S. And for those of you in the irrigation industry, very briefly, he had a partner in a guy named King Ewing, who owned the Ewing distributorships. So Moody was owned by them at the same time that he owned those distributorships for about 5 years, between 1955 and 1960. In the 70s, very briefly, Moody partnered with Safety Lawn to sell their equipment, in particular to get into the southeastern region. And then the company sort of comes to an end in 1980 when L.R. Nelson purchases it. And in particular, these smaller things like these bubblers and sprays stayed with the Nelson line. Although this guy here, I don't think was for sale very far into the 1970s. But then later in the 1980s, Nelson sold off the large turf sprinklers, the big impacts, etc., to a company called WeatherTech. And that was pretty much the end of anybody knowing the Moody name in irrigation. So it was a product line for the better part of, say, 50 years, and has since passed into obscurity. But we have one of their products today. This guy has a core. I don't know if you can see very well, but there is a screwdriver slot down in the center here, and there's a screw that extends down into a core that threads into the base of the sprinkler, and I'll show you the thing all taken apart. And there are two orifices that then allow water to flow from the inlet out into the cavity that this screen sits on top of, and then the water bubbles up through that. And so if you screw that in, less water can go through those orifices, and if you screw it back out, more water can go through it. So I'm excited to see it operating. I think it's new old stock, and like I said, it's probably over 50 years old. So let's see this thing in action.